Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura, aka Perplex QT, and I hope everyone is doing well. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Today's video, if you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe. If you don't like what you see, I apologize. You can send me some feedback so I know why you didn't like it. Unless you're a troll, then I don't care. All right. Hey, Rose. Rose, did you just send me an email? Because if you did, I just wrote you back. So let me say hi to everyone. What's up, members, Patreon, subs, of course, my amazing mods. Members, Patreon, subs. Why do I always feel like I forgot someone? I don't know. I always feel like I forgot someone. So what's up, Rocco? So many things to say, but a couple things I want to say first. For my candle customers, it's going to be hard, but I have to give up mica, at least the amount that I was using, because I decided to change some things up. Hey, Joseph, I decided to change some things up, and the wicks are so much better without the mica, and everyone tells me that. So I just, as my sponsor, as Intrepid Candle Company is my sponsor, if you got the 2 wicks and the small, it's just too much. And it makes it overheat. It gives it a great smell, but it's almost like too much. They're fine in the big ones, but you know, it's been a lot of trial and error how to get one wood wick to work. And the key was I got to get rid of the mica. I know I'm at rescue. So I'm still adding a tiny bit, but it won't be like the glitter explosion that you see because it just doesn't work. So I found a way to make it all work and make it work well. I just got to lessen the mica a lot. So there's that. So moving forward, just know the glitter candles are going to be a lot less glittery. So next on the bucket list, I'm putting this out there so there's no mistake. I don't want to hear about anyone's drama. I don't care what's being said in other lives. Anyone that comes in here that says, this one said this will be blocked immediately. If you're a Patreon, you know better. If you're a member, I'm letting you know. So members won't be blocked, but you will be erased. You'll be timed out. Some random person come in. I haven't started yet, Raquel. For some random person that comes in, you will be blocked. Okay? So I just want to make that clear because honestly, I don't give a shit. So I'm over it. There's that. I fucked up this format already. I just want you to know I already screwed it up because it's going to be really, really hard to do this for me personally live because I always have to read chat. So if it seems like I'm ignoring you during chat, I'm not, but I kind of screwed this up because it should really be uploads. So I'm giving you the whole background. So we're kind of tweaking it a little. So doing it live, it's going to be a little tough, but chat, I'm not ignoring you. I have to do this in a certain way and I can't jump too far ahead. So at the Holly Bobo case that we're working on next, I will do more uploads. Patreons will get those first and members will get it. And then 14 months, damn. Hey, Spivvy, I am being all legit tonight. And then thank you, Doohickey. I look gorgeous. I haven't even showered yet, but thank you. So I can admit that. See, this is why I get all screwed up. Because then you guys screw me up. So I'm not going to look at chat. So once I do the Holly Bobo case, I'm going to do more uploads. Patreons will get it, then members will get it, and then public, I'll go live with it, or public will get it. It's going to be on a 1-2 day thing, so it's going to be a little rough, but I'm going to try to get ahead. So yeah, I kind of screwed up this whole format, but I'm trying to tweak it on a case that I'm very familiar with, even though I forgot how many layers there are to this case. So again, I'm not ignoring you in chat. I appreciate all super chats. I definitely appreciate PayPals and candle buying, and what else? Cash App, Venmo, I'm on all of them. My Cash App and Venmo is Intrepid Candles. Thank you, Eula. And then Super Chat, you guys know. And then my PayPal, mods will drop it. It's Perplexed QT LLC. Email is, you can use Twisted X Law. You can use Perplexed QT. At Gmail, you can use any of them. Laura at Perplexed QT. Laura at likeperplexed.com. I got so many emails attached. So, I live in the Modesto area years ago in the Bay Area. Okay. What we're not going to do tonight, I'm going to tell you what we're not, this is the way the format's going to work. Tonight, what I'm going to do is introduce you to the case. I know that most people know everything there is about this case. But the reason why I find this case so incredibly interesting and always have for many, many years is because it's based on circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence is bullshit. I don't care. I know a lot of things are based on circumstantial. I have never believed in circumstantial evidence as a make or break. Give me hard proof. If somebody murdered somebody, there's hard proof. While tonight, the reason I was a couple of minutes late, I happened to come across a case that Mark Aragos had originally tried. If you're not familiar with Mark Aragos, he was Scott Peterson's attorney. He's a very hotshot LA attorney. He's covered Michael Jackson, Usher, some pretty famous people. And he has a pretty good track record. That's why a lot of things that he did in this trial, I don't think I'll ever understand because a lot of it just didn't make sense. But while I don't know if anyone's familiar with this case, not Scott Peterson, the one I'm going to talk about. While I was looking up Mark Aragos to see, if there was anybody big that I'm forgetting, or if Michael Jackson was his biggest, and I came across this one called Cameron Brown from back in 2000. Anyone familiar with this? I don't remember hearing about this case, but I could be wrong. That I may have remembered it, but it was so long ago. He had thrown his daughter off of a cliff, a 4-year-old daughter off of a cliff in Los Angeles. And Mark Aragos got him in 2000, got him a hung jury. Or 2006, got him a hung jury, and a mistrial was declared twice. I mean, it was so blatantly obvious this guy did it not to pay child support. It's a pretty interesting case. But then I read in 2015, he was charged and sentenced to life without parole, without the possibility of parole. But that's some crazy shit. I mean, who throws their 4-year-old off of a cliff and said that she fell? I mean, that's insane. So he left the one he was with. Who? What did Usher do? Hold on. Usher. Whoop. Hold on. Now you made me lose it. All right. Chris Brown, he represented. Hey, good vibes. You've been with me 18 months? Holy crap. He is a hot attorney, but I don't think he was so hot on this trial. I really don't. He should have been executed. I agree. But that was a long time. Usher. Oh, he represented Andy Dick. Nate Dogg, Michael Jackson, Jeremy Mayfield. Where's Usher? Usher defends, Garagos defends Usher in 2011. The story's not here. It's a blank story, so I don't know what it was about. Okay. He represented Winona Ryder, Nicole Richie, but Nicole was sentenced to 3 years probation. Like, he's a pretty hotshot attorney. All right. So he represented Scott Peterson in this trial. Let me give you a little background. There are some things you may not know. I took all my notes. Hang on. Let me pull them up. All right. Whoop. Scott Peterson was born October 24th of 1972. He was, in 2004, he was convicted of first-degree murder of Laci, who was pregnant at the time, and the second-degree murder of their unborn son, Connor. All of this happened in Modesto, California, which is Northern California. He was born in San Diego. His dad was a businessman who owned a crate packaging company. His mom owned a boutique called The Put On. They had 6 kids from previous relationships, so they were pretty much a Brady Bunch. Scott was the only child that they actually had together. As a child, he shared a room with his half-brother. They were in a 2-bedroom apartment in La Jolla. Peterson played golf at an early age. A lot of people don't know he actually had a scholarship. He thought he was going to be a big-time golfer, pro golfer. That all went to crap in college. He was fighting for spots with other golfers who went on to become pro golfers. He went to California Polytechnic, worked in a restaurant, which is actually ultimately where he met Laci. She also attended Cali Polytech. She was a horticulture major. They first met in 1994. Laci actually made the first move, not Scott. So they dated for about 2 years. Eventually they moved in together. And while he finished his senior year, she took a job at a local gig. He engaged to her after 2 years of being together. At the time he engaged to her, he already had 2 affairs, but they never revealed the names. He ended up graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in agriculture business in June of 1998. Following college, he opened up a bar that they ended up selling when they moved to Modesto. That's a really, really quick synopsis of background. Hold on, I jumped way ahead. Did I? I guess I did. All right. So on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve of 2002. Honestly, I cannot believe that it's been that long. I still remember sitting there watching the trial. It's like it was yesterday. It's kind of weird that it was 20 years ago. So he originally said that he left to go fishing at the Berkeley Marina. He said Laci was watching a cooking show and was preparing to mop the floor, bake cookies, do all the things people that are 8.5 months pregnant like to do. That was sarcasm. He said, she walked the family dog by a nearby park. Later that morning, a female neighbor of the Petersons says that she found the Petersons' dog, which was named McKenzie, returned him to the Petersons' backyard between 10:10 and 10:17 a.m. About a half hour later, shortly after 10:45, another neighbor named Mike Chiavetta said he found McKenzie wandering the neighborhood with a muddy leash, and also returned him to the Petersons' yard. Peterson said he returned home that afternoon to find it empty. He found McKenzie in their backyard, and Laci's 1996 Land Rover Discovery was in the driveway. He showered, washed his clothes because he got wet from fishing. Sign number 1. Your dog is in the backyard. Your wife is nowhere to be found. Your pregnant wife, so you know she's not walking the dog. Why didn't you look for her? Why didn't you ask neighbors? Why didn't you do something? Where would she be if there was nothing around? and the dog was there. On the flip side, how did the dog get out twice? We already know one neighbor brought it back. So how'd the dog get out again if she locked him in the gate? Then another neighbor found him again and brought him back again. How did he get out twice? I want you guys to keep this in mind when we get further in. So I should get my whiteboard, although it's all packed up with candle stuff. Hold on. So this is why if I was doing this on the proper format, I could do it on an upload and I wouldn't seem so disorganized. Because you knew exactly where she was. Maybe. Maybe. What am I doing? All right. So first clue. 2 different neighbors brought dog back twice. Keep that in mind. So he went home, took a shower, washed his clothes because he said he got wet from fishing. Now, a lot of people, I remember even back then, a lot of people say, that's way far ahead, Shanley. A lot of people say, well, it's too cold to go fishing. It was a cold day. I know people that would go fishing in the freezing cold if they could. If they had a chance to get away from their wife, they would go fishing. And especially, even though it's Northern California, it's still California, I really never saw that big of a deal. If she's going around walking, there's no reason he couldn't go fishing. So, just saying. According to ABC, Peterson reported his wife missing from their Modesto home. However, the New York Post reported that when Laci still had not returned home by 5:15, Peterson called his mother-in-law, and that half hour later, Laci's stepfather called the police. The Modesto Bee also attributes the first call to police by her stepfather. She was 7.5 months pregnant with a due date of February 10th, 2003. They had planned on they knew it was a boy. They planned on naming him Connor. And she was technically reported missing Christmas Eve. And the whole world now found out about this case. When the detectives originally questioned him, they said that his demeanor was kind of like Chris Watts. I mean, they didn't say it because Chris Watts wasn't anyone then, but they said that it was very, very calm, not frantic, not paranoid, not worried, just very calm. And her family was the one that was very distraught. Her family could not deal with the fact that she was missing. This is their first grandchild. They couldn't handle it. So according to True TV, the Brochini, which is the detective, found Peterson's nonchalant demeanor suspicious, describing it as strange combination of polite and arrogant and distant and impatiently irritable. To me, looking back, that sounds like Chris Watts. That's exactly how he was. So they said he just didn't seem like a man who was crushed or even greatly disturbed by his wife's disappearance and possible death. Now, going back. All right, let me just address Hannah for a minute. He also could have been having an affair with somebody besides Amber. And that's why he came home and took a shower. There's never been any legit proof that he actually even went fishing or stayed I think there was proof he went fishing. Someone allegedly saw him. I don't totally remember, but they allegedly saw him. But in my opinion, easily could have had an affair with someone else. And besides Amber. Is it a red flag? Yeah. Is it a nail in the coffin? No, not at all. So, Spivvy, that's possible. Yeah, he had a receipt. That's what I'm saying. I remember there was something. I mean, this is 20 years ago. I know there were some things that I'm going to forget. That's why I put a disclaimer on in the beginning. He just didn't seem like a man who was crushed. The detective said that when he first met Scott, didn't mean he did it, but he was a bit thrown off by his calm demeanor. On the flip side of that, if he was over the top, uncontrollable crying, that would have sent red flags up too. So I don't really think the cops can put a definitive, well, he acted like this or he didn't act like this. Because either way, I think he would have been screwed. So he initially said that he spent the day golfing. He later told police that he'd gone to fish for sturgeon at the marina. At 2:15, yes, I'm going to get to that, Hannah. At 2:15, he left a message for Laci. We all heard that, like, hey, hon, I love you. I'll be home soon, like acting like she should have answered. On January 24th, I'm sorry, I skipped my notes. Peterson stated he went fishing about 90 miles from the couple's home. Detectives immediately launched a search. That was on a couple of days after Christmas Eve. At a January 24th, 2003 press conference, the Rocha family publicly withdrew their support of Peterson. Now, up until that point, they were all about Scott. For some reason, my memory remembers it being a lot longer than just a couple of weeks. For some reason, I thought they supported him for like 3 months. But I guess time just, you don't really understand time, because it was less than a month that they no longer supported him. And the cops were also putting pressure on them, saying, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, he did do it, and we shouldn't be sticking up for him. So part of the reason that they all of a sudden changed their mind had to do with Amber Frey. Amber Frey, to me, was an idiot, and I'm going to explain that. Amber Frey was this blonde who also lived in Modesto. She was a single mom. Yeah, I did. I thought it was a lot longer. Amber Frey started setting him up. She went to the police. She told them, look, I've been seeing this guy. This guy told me he was single. I lived in New York at the time. Scott Peterson was everywhere. You didn't even have to turn on the news and you heard about Scott Peterson. Amber Frey says that she never knew anything about this until much later. She never turned on the news. She never picked up her paper. I personally have never believed her story. We know for a fact that they were having an affair. I mean, we all heard that New Year's Eve call where he states that, you know, he's in Paris, and meanwhile he's at supposed to be putting together signs looking for his wife. His mistress, yes, but I just never believed her. I felt like you had to have known what was going on. You know, people want to condemn, what's her name? Kessinger. They want to really condemn Nicole Kessinger, saying she knew. At least she came to the police immediately. Amber Frey literally claimed that she didn't know anything about it. That she had no idea he had a wife. She had no idea he was missing. It was blasted everywhere. I knew about it. She was on the cover of every single newspaper. But according to her, she never knew it. So I just never believed her. Yeah, we heard all the calls. I just never believed her. Then she hears something, or a friend of hers, if I remember correctly, a friend of hers told her, aren't you seeing this guy, or isn't this your boyfriend? And that's when she went to the police. She lived in San Francisco, but I'm saying I was in New York, and it was blasted everywhere before she ever came forward. Yeah, he told her she was a widower, but I'm saying that the fact that she never saw this when it was blasted everywhere, I just never believed her story that she didn't know. Ultimately, she's the reason he's sitting in jail for all these years. She went to them. She went to the police. She agreed to wear a wiretap, wire her phone, and to catch him. Part of it was she was doing the right thing. I think the other part of it was she was ultimately going to get revenge on him. Like, she was lied to. She thought they were going to get married. She thought he was a great guy. And I think some of it was revenge, that she was going to get him. Her lawyer was Gloria Aldridge. Exactly. It was all over the news. It was everywhere. So, and that's possible too, Chainley. It's very possible. Or, on the flip side, it's possible he is innocent. And I'm going to get to all that. I don't remember if Amber lived in Modesto or San Francisco, but she wasn't far. But either way, she would have seen something. There's no way she didn't. I just never believed her. So, social media was not prevalent. But again, I stress, I lived in New York. And we knew all about the case. The case was blasted everywhere. How did she in California never know? I don't know. And I wasn't like a paper reader. Like, I didn't, read Newsday every day. But that's possible too, Angel, that she may not have been a stranger to married men. So, a month after Laci's disappearance, her brother Brent stated at a press conference that although Peterson had admitted to him during a January 16th call that he had had an affair with a woman from Fresno, she was from Fresno, there you go, Peterson was now no longer communicating with the Rocha family. They later said that they were angered at the affair, but by the fact that Peterson had told him Frey that he had lost his wife on December 9th of 2002, 14 days before she disappeared. That kind of put up a big signal to them that he would be spending their first Christmas without her. Police later speculated whether this was an indication that Peterson had already decided to kill Laci, which her mom strongly agreed with. Now, the two cops, once the discovery of the bodies came in, the two cops who had put a tracker on Peterson's car trying to find him, and knowing that he was in San Diego at the time, they didn't want him to cross the border to Mexico. They commented later on that we just knew that we had to get Scott right now. He told me he was there, and that's where the bodies come up. I believe this was premeditated. He planned it out. San Diego was pretty close to the Mexican border. He knew the area well. That's where his parents lived. That's where he lived. It's where he grew up. So it wasn't like, he needed major directions. He knew which way he was going. Again, thinking about it, if you know that you are going to jail for the rest of your life, and you know that you're not getting out of this because you have been accused and the whole public believes that you killed her and there's circumstantial evidence, are you not going to try to escape to Mexico whether you're guilty or not? Of course you are. So the FBI in Modesto did forensic searches of Peterson's home. They also conducted mitochondrial DNA testing on a hair from pliers that were found in Peterson's fishing boat that linked them with hairs recovered from Laci's hairbrush. Okay, this is the only solid piece of evidence tying Scott Peterson to Laci's death. Where this fails, Laci had thick hair. Her hair wasn't that long, but it was thick. She was pregnant. Everyone knows hair falls out more when you're pregnant. She could have grabbed him pliers that day. She could have. There's multiple reasons why hair would be. I'm sure I got hair everywhere. I'm sure Phoenix has hair in everything. Screwdrivers, anything. So, and I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just not saying he's guilty. I'm just laying out the facts. So I don't want anyone to take it differently. No. Sissy, kind of, sort of, but not really. Not all her stuff. So, a single hair. there was no evidence on the bodies of her that he did anything with a plier. If someone has plier marks on them, or I'm sorry, if someone has teeth marks, if you bite somebody, they have teeth marks that show up even after death because it causes bruising. So people know, forensics know that, hey, this is a body. This person was bit. Here are the teeth marks. If you're burned, this person was burned with something. They couldn't find, granted, she was missing limbs, but I have tried over the years to piece together what he would possibly do with pliers in her hair to get hair in her pliers. It doesn't make sense. There's no reason to have a hair in a plier unless it fell off. So that's also, hair does fall out like crazy. That also makes me wonder why that was important. Because, again, she didn't have plier marks in her. He didn't pull out her hair. You know, it wasn't like some sick serial killer that, you know, pulls off your nipples or some, you know, crazy shit. It wasn't like that. It was one single hair which easily could have fell off her head at any time. Teeth removal. Yeah, but she had all her teeth. So that wasn't an issue. And your hair wouldn't be on your teeth. He cut pliers to cut wire attaching yeah, but there was nothing on those concrete anchors linking to her. There was nothing. There was one single hair. That's it. That's it. That's all there was. Everything else was circumstantial. So to say that he took a plier from his house and had it on the boat or had it in his shop or whatever doesn't make sense. Because I can't think of any reason that he would use this plier, but yet there's no evidence to support it. So they searched his truck, which had nothing, no evidence of her at all whatsoever. I don't even think they found DNA in his truck, which is a little odd because I'm sure my ex's truck still has DNA of me. I mean, so that's one thing that's a little weird. They searched his toolbox, his warehouse, and the boat. After he was arrested, the police conducted more searches in the bay in an attempt to locate handmade concrete anchors that they believed weighed down Laci's body while it was underwater. Nothing was ever found. So they know where they found her water. Granted, the bay is a big area. There were no anchors ever found to this day of that she did something and he tied her to this anchor and let it go, and there were never anchors ever found anywhere. So yes, I'm going to get to that too, Spivvy. Yeah, but it was found on a plier. It wasn't found on the boat. There was no hair found in his car. There was no hair found in the boat. It was just on pliers that came from the house. So it's just a little odd that nothing was ever found. There was a lot of speculation that I think it was the prosecutor that said that he used the anchors to weigh down Laci and, you know, that's how she didn't float back up and blah, blah, blah. I never bought it. Show me proof. Just show me proof. All fishermen have pliers to help remove hooks from fish, so pliers not unusual. Exactly. On July 6th, 2012, Peterson's attorney, Cliff Gardner, filed a 423-page appeal of Peterson's sentence, stated that the publicity surrounding the trial, incorrect evidentiary rulings, and other mistakes deprived Peterson of a fair trial. State Attorney General's office filed a response brief on January 26th of 15. Defense filed a response to the state's brief in July of 15, claiming that a certified dog that detected Laci's scent at Berkeley Marina had failed 2/3 of tests with similar conditions. In November of 2015, defense filed a habeas corpus petition claiming that a juror lied on her jury application and that there was evidence that neighbors saw Laci alive after Scott left home. On August 10th of 2017, State Attorney General responded to the appeal by filing a 150-page document contesting the notion, disputing the claims that put forward in the appeal, stating the appeal ignored overwhelming evidence that Peterson murdered Laci. The Attorney District General, Donna, stated that the timeline of the crime was established by the neighbor who found the Petersons' golden retriever, McKenzie, wandering in the street with its leash still attached before the sighting of Laci and her dog. Provienzo also indicated purported sightings of Laci were... Where am I? Hold on. Whoop. All right. Were Legion noting 74 reported sightings in 26 states and overseas, most of which she stated were neither viable nor corroborated. The problem with this is there were people allegedly that saw Laci that day. The problem was Garagos never put them on the stand. You have to have faith when you're paying somebody as much as Garagos was getting paid. So I understand why people were not questioning him. He maybe thought that if he put them on the stand, they were going to burn Scott. They say the jury wanted to hear from Scott. Garagos stated against it for good reasons. Garagos did focus on the boat, showing that he wouldn't have been able to have Laci's pregnant body there. And they did like a bunch of different testing, and the boat would have tipped over if there were anchors on it. It was a small boat. If it would have tipped over. So that's what Garagos focused on instead of focusing on the witnesses that allegedly saw her. There was also a crime that took place on the day she disappeared. Their neighbor across the street had moved. This is where it really gets interesting. The neighbor across the street was on vacation for Christmas and New Year's. Allegedly, the house was being robbed while Laci was taking the dogs for a walk. The eyewitnesses claim, and I'm doing this by memory, but the eyewitnesses claim that they saw her in the park. Some ruled out the eyewitnesses, some said that they were good. But they had decided that they saw her. They felt positive they saw her. These people that were arrested allegedly confessed in a jailhouse confession, stating that they know what happened. If I remember correctly, one was talking to their brother or something, and they admitted they did it, or they got rid of the pregnant girl that saw them rob the house, something along those lines. They then said that these, like whenever you're in jail, they record everything, and allegedly these particular tapes disappeared. They just disappeared into thin air. Well, how does that happen? How does it just disappear into thin air? All the other recordings are there. For some reason, the recordings with these robbers disappeared. Then the police went one step further, or the correction officers went one step further. Not only did they lose all this evidence, which is some pretty major evidence, but they then changed the date. They said that it happened the next day. The reason why I know that's bullshit, or I can't say I know, more like what I believe is bullshit, is there was a news reporter. I forgot what station he was from, but there was a news reporter there who blatantly said that he was there all morning. He was there from 6 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day or the 26th. And the day that the correction officer said that the robbery happened, because the robbers changed their story, was the day that the reporter was there all day. The reporter said there was nobody across the street. The house was empty. I would know if the guys across the street were getting robbed, if there was a van out front. So you have to ask yourself, why did the correction officers change their story? Why did the robbers, all of a sudden, it's a different day? When you have a news reporter who I personally believe state that didn't happen. The cops are lying. I've been here since 5 or 6 a.m. and I haven't left this post all day. I've been sitting in front of the house all day. The robbery did not happen today. He made a big stink out of it. I don't remember his name. I could tell you what he looked like because that vision has been in my head for 20 years. Like, I can still remember seeing him say, they're lying. The police are lying because I've been here all day. I haven't left this post. There has been no white van across the street and nobody has done anything. That single-handedly has stuck with me for 20 years. And I'm not guessing. I am just telling you that reporter just stuck with me. And I believe him. Why these tapes disappeared, why this conversation disappeared, why all of this disappeared, it is mind-blowing. See, the white van, exactly. The real masterminds who robs a house 10 a.m. A lot of people do. If you know somebody's on vacation, it's a good time. Well, they're not done yet. So, yeah, she lived in Fresno. Garagos knows how unreliable. I know, but he still should have done something. He needed something. Like, Garagos needed something to show that, hey, you know, we have to have something. He knew, like, the whole outside of that courtroom was ready to hang Scott. He was not a happy camper. They knew, hang him. Scott Peterson was guilty of murder before he ever stepped foot in that courtroom. He really was. Not stating, when you were talking about the jailhouse deathbed, I'd say deathbed. So, on August 8, 2018, defense replied saying that it was deficient by trial Mark Garagos failing to call experts. Yeah, he didn't even call experts in a fetal growth, dog scent, how bodies move in water, stating he would call witnesses but failing to follow through on this and failing to properly address burglary evidence. That is exactly what I'm talking about. In March 2019, as we all know, Scott Peterson got sentenced to death row. Okay, hold on. He was sentenced to death row. If not for the change of death row even not being an option anymore, he'd be dead by now. What I was wrong about something that I have no problem admitting that I did not know. I thought, all right, when it comes to the law, they are so black and white. There's very, very little room for leeway when it comes to the way laws are written. And unfortunately, they haven't changed the laws in bazillion years. They'll update it a little, but they really haven't changed any laws in years. So I thought forever that a law, if you have a mistrial, if you have a juror tampering, that is an automatic mistrial. Well, that is not true, especially in the state of California. It is solely up to the judge to decide if this juror misconduct is enough for a retrial. Is it enough for a dismissal? Personally, I think that puts way too much power in a judge's hands. Not that judges don't have enough power, but that's a problem. Because it's really going to depend on which way the judge feels. If the judge feels you're guilty, he's not going to do anything. He's going to say, okay, it's juror misconduct, slap on the wrist. But if he feels you're innocent, he's going to declare a mistrial and you're going to go free. So sadly, there's no definitive laws back in 2000 about what can be done for juror misconduct. And it still weighs heavily on the judge. In 2015, think about how laws never change, but in 2015, they finally released something. Hold on, let me find it. Oh my God, of course now I can't find it. Is it here? I don't know, but they finally came up with something in 2015 in regards to juror misconduct. But in the state of California, and it still right there today, repercussions for juror misconduct in the state of California can range from minor disciplinary action to mistrials. According to the law, a juror who is found to have committed misconduct could be held in contempt. Ultimately, it's a decision of the presiding judge to investigate the allegations and make a determination as to whether a juror or jurors have acted in a way that violate the law of the court. What could happen: cautioning the jury about the misconduct to give a warning, discharging the juror, replacing them with an alternate juror, discharging the entire jury if the judge determines the entire panel has been influenced by the misconduct, declaring a mistrial in which charges will be dismissed and a new trial will be called. They did not want to see that happen. They weren't going to do that. Everybody felt he was guilty, and that's it. I didn't tell you to have sympathy for Scott Peterson. That's not what this is about. And I know this is a very, very controversial case, but we're innocent until proven guilty. I have not seen evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm not saying what I think. Beyond a reasonable doubt that Scott Peterson killed Laci Peterson. There's a lot of circumstantial, there's a lot of opinions, there's a lot of maybes, but it is not. Nobody can prove to me beyond a reasonable doubt that he killed her. A&E put out a four special production a couple of years ago. It had to be either maybe 2017. The sister did a documentary that really made me question it even more. He was declared a overturn of the death sentence because they abolished the death penalty. Then he ended up hold on, where am I? All right. On August of 2018, defense filed a reply to the sixth brief. Got there on March 2019. They got rid of the death penalty. They spared 25 people on death row. On June 2nd of 2020, Supreme Court heard argument in Scott Peterson's appeal. Defense argued that prospective jurors were improperly excused and that the trial judge improperly allowed two jurors onto Peterson's boat, that the judge erred in insisting the prosecution be present during defense testing of the boat, and that the motion to move the trial to another county should have been granted, not that it would have mattered, due to juror questionnaire results showing almost half of the prospective jurors had already concluded Peterson was guilty prior to the trial. Prosecution countered that the Supreme Court should overturn the verdict if it were to find that a prospective juror was improperly dismissed and that there was no credible claim, and that any of the 12 jurors who decided Peterson's fate was unfair or partial. Now, also keep in mind, all of his people, all of these jurors wrote books. They were probably the most media-friendly jurors that we've seen in high-profile cases. Every single one of them made money. Every single one of them convicted him for money. I'm not saying they convicted him for money, but every single one of them, it was about money. Because when half the jurors already say somebody's guilty on the questionnaire, you don't have a chance in hell. Scott Peterson was found guilty on circumstantial evidence and the fact he was a cheater. That's why he was found guilty. He had other affairs and he didn't kill Laci. So was Amber that special? No. Scott was a narcissist who I believe was a narcissist who didn't want a child. So for him to run to somebody with a child didn't make sense either. On September 22nd, on August 24th of 2020, a 7-0 decision, Supreme Court of California upheld Peterson's conviction, but overturned his death sentence because Peterson's trial judge had died in 2008. He had dismissed jurors who opposed capital punishment without asking them whether they could put their views aside. Justice Kruger explained that per Supreme Court ruling since 1968, jurors may not be excused merely for opposition to the death penalty, but only for views rendering them unable to fairly consider imposing that penalty in accordance with their oath. This is the meaning of a guarantee of an impartial jury. Prosecutors initially stated that they would retry the penalty phase, but subsequently reversed that decision in June of 2021. California Supreme Court magistrate ruled that Peterson would be resentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The following month, they scheduled a hearing on that matter for December 8th. On December 8th, Missoula resentenced Peterson to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the first-degree murder of Laci, and a concurrent 15 years to life for the second-degree murder of Connor. Well, somewhere between September 22nd and December, now they're bringing in the juror that screwed up the whole thing to begin with, the alternative juror that they brought back, and it looks like Scott Peterson will get a new trial based on she is going to get immunity, so she can't get in trouble for what she did and tainting the jury, but it looks like the judge is leaning towards giving him a whole new trial. So will he get out of jail? I don't know. Is he guilty? I don't know. Penalty phase not his guilt. No, but now they're going one step further. A lot of people got that confused. She got immunity. Her getting immunity them giving her immunity has nothing to do with his penalty phase. That's why I have a problem with, I legit understand that it was originally done through the penalty phase. They weren't touching his guilt or innocence, but why would they give her immunity if they didn't plan on retrying him? Spivvy, they would not need to bring her in for that. I agree with you, but they would not need to bring her in for that. They don't need her for resentencing. They don't need to give her immunity for resentencing. So to prove that, hold on. Why did I lose everything I had pulled up? Okay. All right. Actually, I'll let you watch the news. Hold on. His conviction of guilt cannot be overturned, but he can get a new trial. So don't confuse the two. If he gets a new trial, yes, he can. A judge can't just overturn his thing. That's 100% correct.
Testimony at a hearing later this month. The Stanislaus County District Attorney's Office said yesterday that Rochelle Nice will testify February 25th. The judge will decide within 90 days whether to grant Peterson a new trial. It ended in '04 with Peterson's conviction for killing his pregnant wife, Laci, and their unborn son. Peterson's lawyers want to overturn his murder conviction on grounds of juror bias and misconduct. They say Nice lied on a jury questionnaire when she denied having been the victim of a crime. They say she did not reveal during jury selection that she had been beaten by a boyfriend while pregnant in 2001. Peterson was sentenced to death in 2005 and was sentenced to life in prison without parole last December.
Spivvy, I'm going to say this again. You're wrong. I don't know how many times I can say it. You're wrong. The penalty phase has already been completed. He got sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. That's fact.
Hey, good morning. We'll get to that in just a second.
That's done already. They're going back to court the end of the month. He's sometime within the next 2 weeks. He's going back to court to see if the judge will give him a new trial. Not for sentencing, for guilt or innocence. That's a new trial. The penalty phase has already been completed. So, I will play it again.
Trial will be granted immunity for her testimony at a hearing later this month. The Stanislaus County District Attorney's Office said yesterday that Rochelle Nice will testify February 25th. The judge will decide within 90 days whether to grant Peterson a new trial. It ended.
Do you hear that? The judge will decide in 90 days to grant him a new trial. I've been fighting with people on this for a while. The penalty phase is complete. They did that back in December. This is about a new trial. The judge that is now taken over the case is going to decide within 90 days after hearing the juror's testimony if he will get a new trial. The judge can deny it, or the judge can give him a new trial. I totally agree, VZ. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. It was 2017, the murder of Laci Peterson. For those of you that believe 150%, 6 episodes. For those of you that think 150% that he is guilty, I'd advise you to watch the A&E special. There's 6 episodes from 2017 called The Murder of Laci Peterson. It's an excellent, excellent docuseries. No, Spivvy, you're wrong. You are 100% wrong. I don't know how many times I can tell you this. You are wrong. That has already been done. His sentencing has already been done. They don't need a juror to have immunity to testify in a sentencing. The jury had nothing to do with his sentencing. That is done by the courts. That is done by the judge. Sentencing is done by a judge. It has nothing to do with his sentencing. His sentencing part has already been completed. I've looked into this more than once. They are possibly giving him a new trial. Period. Has nothing to do with sentencing. If at an evidentiary hearing, Rachel Nice, juror number 7, in the trial that ended in 2004 with Peterson's conviction for killing his pregnant wife. Prosecutors say Peterson took his body, blah, blah, blah. Peterson's lawyers want to overturn his murder conviction on grounds of bias and misconduct. They contend that Nice lied on a jury questionnaire when she denied having been the victim of a crime involved in a lawsuit. Attorneys say Nice did not reveal during jury selection that she had been beaten by a boyfriend while pregnant in 2001. She also didn't disclose that during another pregnancy, she had obtained a restraining order, considered a type of lawsuit, against a boyfriend's ex-girlfriend whom she faced fear. I don't think you can make a cogent argument that somebody who is pregnant and has been the victim of violence can go to trial and at the very least not feel some bias towards a circumstance where a victim is a pregnant woman who basically had violence occur. Peterson's lawyer, Pat Harris, said Monday after the hearing. Peterson's attorneys have argued that she actively sought to join the jury because she wanted Peterson to be punished for the deaths, which she did. She has denied it. Whoop. I did not lie to get on this trial to fry Scott. That's a lie, because there's video that she did. Nice said that without immunity, which could protect her from a perjury charge, she would invoke the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. However, she refuses to answer questions on the witness stand after being given immunity. Nice could be held in contempt of court. She wrote dozens of prison letters to Peterson while he was on death row. She also co-authored a book on the case with other jurors. The evidentiary hearing will run about a week, following which the judge will decide then, within 90 days, whether to grant Peterson a whole new trial. Peterson, 49, was sentenced to death, blah, 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 without parole. The California Supreme Court tossed out his original sentence in 2020 on grounds that the jury was improperly screened for bias against the death penalty. However, justices also said in their decision that there was considerable circumstantial evidence incriminating Peterson, the first-degree murder of Laci and the second-degree murder of their unborn son. She was an alternative juror. Yes, I remember her well. Scott's sister has been studying law for years, trying to get him a new trial. She absolutely believes he's innocent, and she brings up some excellent points that you didn't see in trial. She brings up some excellent points. You have to watch the A&E special. I could run it on Twitch, but you'd have to be there to watch it because I would have to delete it as soon as it's done, as soon as it's over. So, but yeah, if he gets a new trial, will he walk free? Don't know. Will he be granted a new trial? It's up to the judge. There's no way to tell. The fact that they're even giving him another chance to, like, his lawyers have been with him for 20 years, that could intrigue a judge. A judge could be like, you know what? This has been going on for 20 years. Lawyers have not given up on this man. Let's hear what he's got to say. And there may be evidence from, hey, Jenny, there may be evidence from the trial that the judge is interested in. It could be a younger judge. It could be a judge that doesn't remember. Yeah, I can run it. I mean, I could do it tonight because I won't sit there watching it because I got other shit to do, but I can definitely run it. I mean, it's not a big deal. If you guys want to do it tonight, I'll do it tonight. You never know, Rick. You never know. It doesn't give an exact day. They just said the end of February, so it's definitely coming up. But they don't give an exact day, but it's going to run about a week. And then the judge has 90 days to decide. A judge can determine, you know what? I'm not going to do it. Judge can determine, fuck it. Let's do it. He's probably going to be resentenced again anyway, so let's do it. You're wasting all this time anyway, so might as well. But if I was a judge, today is the 17th. If I was a judge and I see that lawyers have worked for free for 20 years or 15 years or 10 years, maybe there's something to it. Just maybe there's something to it. He's as guilty as the day. A lot of people feel that way. My feeling is just give me the proof. Allison, I'm with you. I 100% believe he deserves a new trial. Whether he's guilty or not, if he's so guilty, then he'll get found guilty again. But he wasn't tried based on evidence. He was tried on circumstantial, and I'm sorry, you can piece together anything. Yeah, I could put it on tonight. I mean, we're not going to watch the whole thing tonight. It's like 6 hours. But I'm telling you, it's really good. Judge, no, they can't. It says a judge has to do it in 90 days. There must be some kind of speculation or stipulation that the judge has to do it within 90 days. Because I know with my court, I was waiting on an answer from a judge, and judge took 6 months. I'm like, I'm not waiting any longer. I'm doing what the fuck I want. I went to jail for it. So, yeah, I'll run it tonight and tomorrow. But again, you have to be there. I can't leave it up because I get a copyright strike. He was tried on emotions. Thank you, Allison. Whether he's guilty or not, he deserves a new trial. He absolutely does. There were people outside the courtroom like he was a fucking Hollywood superstar. He was a nobody. He was an asshole. He was a cheating husband, you know, who has a wife missing while he's calling his mistress from while he's supposed to be looking for his wife. I mean, he was not a celebrity at all, but they made him a celebrity. So he does deserve a new trial. I absolutely believe he deserves a new trial. And like I said, if he's guilty, he's guilty. That's another place. I can probably run it on Facebook, but I don't, you guys don't, oh no, actually I got shut down last time I tried to do it on Facebook. Hearing is the 25th. Thank you. So the hearing starts on the 25th. Thank you, Allison. We are not the norm. No, I can't do it on Facebook. Will shut you down. I forgot. They've changed now. They're like dumb. So, what? I shut down the wrong thing. All right. Let me give you guys my Twitch. I haven't been on in forever. Hold on. Okay, Allison, aka Laura. What does that mean, Lindsay? All right. Whoop. Wrong thing. Perplex QT Twitch. All right. Here's my Twitch. I have 555 followers. I guess that's better than 666. The more I watch you, the happier I'm on pie. Thank you, Allison. I appreciate that. Jenny, where have you been? I've been missing you. I was like, where has Jenny been? No, me and Allison, I had her blocked for a long time. She came at me, I think, in Granny's Watching's chat. So, but now she likes me. So it's all good. All right. I can find an A&E show, or you can just watch it with us on Twitch. I'm telling you, it's really good. Like, really good. You did? That's what I thought. Your first name is a little longer? Yeah, I saw it. I've responded. About Dolly. So I also want to let you guys know a bunch of the new scents are listed on the website. I have I'm now offering close to 200 scents, which is fucking insane. But I'm going to start dwindling down. There is a code up on the website for winter scents. So if you order a winter scent, I'm going to bat out the ones that I only can make 2 candles with. A lot of 1 ounce candles. 1 ounce things. I'm going to do a big sale on that just to push them out. And what else? That's about it. You just sub to me on Twitch? Yeah, I have no problem watching on Twitch. I just, like I said, I got to erase it. Exactly, Julie. It completely made me think twice. And I remember sitting in my room watching it. I think I was on YouTube then, but that was when you can watch the shit on YouTube before they completely shut us down. You don't need anything. Twitch is a lot like YouTube in a sense. It's kind of run like YouTube. What time? 9:15. I just gotta switch my stuff. So it's definitely interesting. I love you too, Kim. But I found it to be very, very interesting. And I watched it and I was like, wow, this is pretty wild. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I did not know. And it's a good refresher. So, all right. So I'm going to shut this down. Tomorrow we're going to, I'm going to tell you why I believe he's either innocent or guilty. But from now on, the first night of introduction of a case, I'm just going to do an upload. And then after that, I can do later. So, thank you, Sly Angel. All right. So, I'll meet you guys over on Twitch. Think about my son's Switch gaming system. Too many social media platforms, I'm telling you. But you would like Twitch. I mean, it's really not much different than YouTube. The only difference is they take more of your monetization than YouTube, which I always thought they took less. No, they actually take more. So, all right, here's the link again before I shut down. It's going to take me a few minutes to set it up, and I got to find the A&E special. So, if I don't come on, if I don't post something within like 10 minutes, check my community page, because that means I couldn't find it. Or A&E wouldn't let me stream it or something. So, because sometimes they put blocks on it. So, I will let you know. But actually, let me check something. I could do this now. All right. Ad blocker. I did block it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There it is. All right. It should be working. Thank you, Spivvy. Hold on. There we go. All right. Oh my God. I already fucking disabled it. Hey, Silvano. Yeah, you can chat on Twitch. Oh my God, this fucking sucks. It keeps telling me my ad blocker's blocking it, but it's not. I've already discontinued it. Thank you, Jenny. It's not my fucking ad blocker. How about I just remove the motherfucker and then you don't have to worry about it? My God, this is annoying. Thank you so much, Jenny. Aha! I got it. It's on fucking Hulu. I'm not even bothering with A&E. Alright. So, I am going to... Yes, we're going to go watch it on Twitch. Oh, let me make sure it works. I think it does, though, but hold on. Yeah, it works. Alright. Because sometimes they, like, black it out and you can't see shit. So, alright. We're going to head over to Twitch. I'll be set up in, like, 5 minutes. Twitch gets fun. They do have, like, I am monetized over there. You can do donations. But they do it in a totally different way. It's like you buy these things and I don't know. It's fun. Like you get on a train. You'll see. So, all right. I will meet you guys over there. I don't want episode 2. All right. It'll take me a couple minutes to set it up. Won't be long. Whoop. And I will see you guys over there. All right. Give me like 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. And I'll be set up. All right. I'll see you guys over on Twitch. Let me go ahead and drop the link one more time. Alright. There's the link. And I'll give you guys a few minutes to catch up. We're going to watch the A&E special. So I will see you guys in a minute. Peace.